It's late at night. I have to keep my voice down to record this. I'm in an apartment building with other people and I'm deaf. I don't know if my voice can be heard or if it's disruptive because I've never really come to grips with deafness that way. Parkinson's, however, has limited my typing. I'm also paralyzed by open questions that lead to dehumanizing me and glorification of infliction of pain. Simply by trying to identify who has had me kidnapped and brutally tortured as a child, I have crossed the government red line, that strange new designation in politics. It is, of course, possible to understand why, since admitting what has happened is ruled outside of admissibility and must be crushed. Therefore, even the weird and conspicuous injuries must be ignored. This testifies to holy war. Recently, I came across the weird fundamentalist George Galloway, leader of the British Workers' Party. I've dealt with the British before. They latched on to the idea that I wasn't healing correctly from being broken up with. So they made a big stink of breaking me up with the girl that I loved. And then after castrating me, throwing FDR's polio condition at me. We live in a society that's ruled by gangster families, like the Obamas. Obama's faction poisoned me in the mouth. I'm getting jaw stiffness that's going to have to be evaluated. I was a symbolic child who was used in a holy war movie script by a snuff film corporation. Obama is extremely childish about what was done to me because he's part of Bush's puppet show. The replacements after the removal of Kennedy and King. And of course, in England, we have Blair, a name from The Exorcist, like Burstyn, the author of the script, who has never been arrested. I brought up the fact that they use formula names like Unruh, the Secret Service agent was with Reagan the day he claims he was shot. Unruh, Casper, like Weinberger and the man who attacked me. Phoenix Program, Lazarus back from the dead, Bly Cinders, Blaze from the Cinders, and of course the Walrus. The script goes back to the dawn of Hollywood, when D'Annunzio was in a counterfeiting room called Fayum. This realm of counterfeiters is where Mussolini was introduced to D.W. Griffith, the age of the great dictators rising with the Hollywood studio system. It was a scientific experiment to take over media, to issue the Warren fabrication called the Warren Report, and lie through the teeth about all that was yet to come. What did they do to me? They kidnapped me and gassed me in a Jewish Holocaust survivor special education program in the Eastminster district of Pittsburgh. Kidnapped and gassed me, and then claimed that I wasn't healing correctly, so they had the right to invade my home and break up with me, callously and deliberately, to trigger the formula, their secret agent, which was a neuroplastic toxin they had implanted. A personality change chemical like Burstyn and Blair, the so-called enemy within, from The Exorcist. And this is leading to the holy war formulas of Putin's regnum with Trumpy-tune, the holy warriors who want maximum control over the world's resources and to make knights of resignation through military conscription. Already the Middle East factions are discussing the spoils after the forcing house, distribution of the spoils after the forcing house. In the Scrivener hand, the Pittsburgh Catholic has stalked every breakup, every lack of healing, making note and paying for and sponsoring the abortions of the enemies within. It's a secret agency of holy war. Franklin Graham once said in the geopolitical arrangements that he was mongering that Jonestown was to free up land for the Christian faith. So I suppose Gaza, the Holocaust in Gaza is too. He talked about a man who they called Hitler, who changed his name to Lazarus because he was back from the dead. Glorifying infliction of pain on me because of trying to identify who kidnapped and tortured me plays out as military psychiatry in places like Iowa and Seattle. I'm a victim of terrible military psychiatry. Interestingly enough, they glorified Charles Bronson, who walked into a party one night and told a man, "I'm going to take your wife," and he did so. The woman ended up marrying Charles Bronson.